Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How is everyone doing today? This is Kicking It with Trina. I'm going to be going live this morning with Takiesha Jones, and we are going to be talking about depression. Now, I know everyone has been through depression sometime one another. So let's get some questions and answers, some things that certain people do, and let's make this work. Good morning, Takiesha. How are you? I am doing great. Can
you hear me clear?
Yes, I can hear you clear. Yes, I can. Can you hear me all right?
I can.
Awesome. Now, I know we were supposed to meet up today, but being here in Milwaukee, this weather is not what we thought it was going to be today. But I'm glad that I am able to speak with you this morning. So how you been doing?
I've been getting through day by day, positive mindset, positive vibe, just focusing on the good things.
Awesome. So our topic today, we're going to be talking about depression. Now, I know I've suffered depression for many, many, many years. And still to this day, I'm going through it. And then when you think about it, there are several different types of depression that people go through. You could have been abused as a child. You could have had a bad relationship. Someone could have done something to you, while you was a child at school. So, all of that to me has been connected with my depression that I go through. What about yourself?
Most of my depression I put on myself. I always, growing up as a kid, I've always thought low about myself, and that's something that a lot of people do. Nothing happened to me as a kid. I had loving parents, amazing parents. It's just stuff that I've been through. I lost my brother at 17. I was 17. He was 19. I lost my cousin when I was turning 10. He got killed right outside the building I was in. So to actually witness that, and then the things I've been told about that day, I could have lost my dad. I lost my great-grandmother. So I've witnessed a lot of loss of people that was close to me. So that right there, along with my low self-esteem, my insecurities as a kid, kind of contributes to mine.
So yours is pretty much kind of like death-related?
Death-related, I've been the type of person that I am. I've been used a lot. So it kind of been like, who's in my life because they want to be in my life, or who's in my life because I'm a caring person and they can get something from me. It's a couple things that have contributed to mine. And, I've kind of recorded myself talking about it. I don't exactly remember a lot of things because I've spoken about it in my recordings. So it's kind of like an outlet.
So how do you deal with that?
Better than I used to. Better than I used to, I'll tell you that.
I mean, tell me, how did you, do better with that?
I just started writing it down. It's better out than in. So I started writing it down. I started recording myself. I listened to music to get my mind off of it. I found somebody that I can vent to that didn't judge me based off of what I said. Even people that didn't understand my story because they never been through it still was there to listen. So, once I stopped being hard on myself and once I stopped being so shy and scared to talk to somebody, it became easier for me. It's easier said than done, of course. But
Right.
It became easier once I found that right person that actually cared. I found that writing it out, even if I kept it, just writing it out, I know that I'm getting it out of my system because if I keep it in, it's going to come out the wrong way. Nobody wants that.
Now, you know what I do every year, but I start a journal every year. Every year I buy a fresh journal. And I say, some I make it to the end of that same January or maybe April, but I never have finished a whole year. I try, but I never did. And I don't know. I don't know if I get so involved in what I'm doing or I just forget or I don't know why I never finish. And I kind of get it myself each time because when I do write in my journal, and just say if I happen to go back and find one of my old journals and look in it and read it, I find out that, it is therapy because you're getting it out. And then I'm going to keep it real. Also, it's some things with me writing in my journal. And sometimes I just don't write the truth. I don't write, what I'm thinking or what I want to write in there on the thinking of like someone might pick it up and read read something personal that I didn't want anyone to read. So have you ever, came, off with something like that?
I have, when I was a kid. I remember a family member that actually read my journal, and that's when I stopped writing. That's when it became worse for me. Because I used to journal. I filled up probably 2/3 of a notebook journaling it out, and I remember a family member that read it, and that's when I just stopped writing altogether. So, that did affect me. Like, why do I write it down and then someone just pick it up and just start reading? Like, I write things down to get them out myself. If I wanted someone to read it, I would just say it out my mouth to a person instead of a notebook.
Exactly. That's something personal that you are writing to yourself. It's not for anyone else to be reading or just say it might be about them and they want to judge you, but this is how you feel about that person.
Exactly.
Now, I have taken therapy before, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. I know some people think, if you see a therapist, you're crazy, you're this or that. No, I think everyone should speak to someone who they don't know. What are your takes on therapy?
I actually go to therapy now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, then the thing about therapy is that they're legally obligated to not tell your business to anyone. If they do, they can lose their license. That's they swore to confidentiality. So I do feel like people should talk to a therapist. I denied it for so long. I thought nothing was wrong with me. I was just having a moment. I'll get better. But when I didn't get better, because it hit pretty low for me, and once it hit pretty low for me, I was like, yeah, something got to change. So like, I'm actually in therapy right now. It's working, but it's not going as deep as I wanted to go just yet. Understandably why, but it's just like I do feel like somebody should talk to someone, especially if you're in the psychology field in college. Especially if you want to be a therapist, you should go to therapy. Like, you need someone to talk to. You don't have family or friends that you can trust. Find a therapist. Especially if you have Medicaid, I think they're supposed to pay for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I absolutely think that people should have a therapist.
I think so too.
I think that everybody should go to therapy. I don't care if you're in the best moments of your life. Everybody goes through that dark time.
So may I ask, how old are you?
I am 24.
24. And I am in my mid 50s. So at the age of 24, going through all these things that you have went to in life, and then me with my age, going through all of the things that I done went through, what do you tell someone your age as far as like going through depression? Because a lot of people be thinking like, oh, you're too young. What could you be depressed about? I'm older and I done seen more and I done more, so how are you so young that they would say going through depression? What would you tell an older person that's trying to tell you you're too young to go through that?
My thing is, everybody lives a different life. Just because maybe at my age you didn't see as much as I did. I've seen a little bit more because you're older, but you really can't put an edge on depression. Because if you could put an edge on depression, there would not be children therapists if that was the case.
And that's true.
I know somebody who's about 14 years old that's in therapy. You cannot put an age on depression. Maybe the child is too young to know the meaning of depression, but some people can't read the word toilet, but they know how to use one. Like, you can't put an age on something, especially if you haven't been through what that person has been through.
And that is so true. Do you think men or women go through depression more? Which one do you think? Or you think it doesn't matter?
I don't think it matters about the gender. You know, I have 3 brothers, and you know, none of them really can say that I go through more than them because I don't know what they went through. I don't know what they fight internally with, so I really can't say a gender.
Mm-hmm. I think some people make people that need help, mental help, you know, depression, whatever it may be. Some people make people feel uneasy as far as saying that, oh, you go to a therapist, you're crazy, you know, what's wrong with you? But it's nothing wrong with you. It's just that sometimes you try to hold so many things in your head, and it's like your head is about to explode. And sometimes you cannot go to your family member, you cannot go to your best friend, because you scared that you might be judged a certain way. So therefore, I think before anything, go to a therapist, talk to a therapist, because then you're even, you know, you're not finna be judged. Like you said before, they don't know you and you don't know them.
Exactly. And some people judge you because they don't want to deal with their own issues. So they focus on yours instead. Which is, it's sadly to say, that's normal. You have issues going on, but you don't want to deal with your issues, so you judge mine.
That takes the heat off them.
It's not fair, it happens.
Mm-hmm. They take the heat off them and put it on you.
Right, and then, you know, the thing is if you feel like you have a person you can trust, but then again, it's like you've been to someone and then they tell somebody else your business. That same thing you told that someone can be different when it gets back to you, because it's going to come back to you. It's going to be like a game of telephone. It's going to be a whole different story.
Has that happened to you before?
I won't say yes, but then again, a lot of my memory from when I was a kid, I don't remember much. Because I had like a blacked out moment, so my memory is kind of like not really there. I'm pretty sure it has happened to me. I'm pretty sure it has, because I can't say that I've always been to the right person. Sometimes I think right on the spot, no matter who's listening, and that's not good. So I'm pretty sure whatever I said has gotten around.
So when you say you have blackout moments, is it where you could just be sitting there and your mind just go blank?
Yes, sometimes that has happened. Sometimes, you know, I literally have blacked out. My child was not with me, for the record. For the record, I have not blacked out around my son. Because anytime I have gotten up to that point, he's not with me. Thank God, he hasn't been around to see that.
Mm-hmm.
There is times where I just go blank.
And that
memory messes up.
Do you find it easy to open up to therapists?
The one I have now, yes. But at first, you couldn't pay me to go see a therapist. I'm like, you could not pay me. I don't care what the amount was. You could not pay me to see a therapist. But it's actually really helpful. And then, like, you can tell if a therapist is doing it because they care, or because it's because of the money that's involved. My therapist, I can tell she cares. It's like, she will listen to me. Like, it's a difference between listening and waiting to talk. It's a huge difference. She will listen to me because she will reiterate what I said, but in a different perspective.
No, I had a therapist before, and when I go, we would just sit, and she was just getting paid to sit. And when I left out, I had the same issues when I walked in. And I have had therapists where I would go and they would help. They would look up things for me and, you know, be like, well, this is your homework. When you go home, I need you to do this. I need you to practice this and, you know, say this to yourself and everything like that. And I could say that worked. I don't see a therapist now. I pretty much see my therapist when I need to see him. You know, if I'm feeling good and everything like that, I'm fine. So how often do you see your therapist?
You know, and that's another thing about depression that people seem to get mixed up. Depression doesn't always mean that you're sad.
Right, exactly.